question for athletes. Do you get stressed before a game? Do you get stressed? Do you get worried? Do you get anxious? Do you get excited? Do you worry about your parents? Do you worry about teammates? Do you worry about coaches? Do you worry about your playing time, maybe a contract if you're playing professionally? Do you worry about not executing your skills? Do you worry about losing? Do you worry about what would happen if you screwed something up? There's tons of different areas that stress can come from as an athlete. I mean, it's coming from all sorts of different directions. Maybe it's from the fans, maybe it's from somewhere else. So there is a ton of sources of stress. There's a ton of sources for anxiety. There's a ton of sources for getting worried as an athlete. So how do you deal with that? How do you actually deal with that stress? Now, here's what most coaches do. Now, I believe that most coaches have the best intention at heart, but they oftentimes don't give you the best strategies, especially on the mental side of the game. And plus, they have a ton of other athletes to look out for. So how can you take control of your mental game? Well, understand that stress, anxiety, worry, all of those things are an emotion. So we have to understand that, yes, they are emotions. They are negative emotions, and negative emotions tend to drain us. I get it. I understand. I've been there. But we also have to understand, too, that we have the ability to influence our emotions. So if you're an athlete and you struggle with any of the things I've just mentioned, then we have to understand that, okay, I can influence my emotions. Well, how do you do that? I'm going to share with you how you can actually do that. So, just imagine a time, or imagine a game, or imagine a practice, imagine a specific scenario where you felt any of those emotions: anxiety, stress, nervousness. And just imagine them. Just replay the scenario in your head. Maybe you see it from your own eyes, or maybe you see it almost from the sideline where you're watching yourself actually perform. And understand that there's a physical reaction, right? There's a physical reaction to all of those negative emotions, right? Maybe you slouch a little bit, maybe you roll your shoulders a little bit, maybe you put your head down a little bit, maybe you sweat a little bit more without even noticing it, right? But we actually want to put ourselves in a more powerful position. But we want to be able to influence these emotions. So understanding that these are emotions and we do have the ability to influence them and to change them. So as an athlete, here's what we can do to influence all of those negative emotions. So understanding that emotions come from a couple of places. So stress, anxiety, worry, they all come from playing pictures in our head or movies in our head of things that possibly could happen in the future, but they didn't happen yet. If I'm focused 100% on the now, of what's going on right in this particular moment, can I be stressed? Can I be worried? No. But if I start playing scenarios of how I can screw up, of how my teammates are going to be mad, of how my coach is going to be mad, of how I'm going to fail or how I'm going to lose, then all of a sudden those negative energies start to come up and they start to worry us and they start to stress us. So they come from pictures in our head. That's the first place that those negative emotions come from. The second place that they come from is the inner dialogue that we're talking about. Everyone knows, right? The angel and the devil on our shoulders, right? So there's an inner conversation always going on. So the inner dialogue is important, but the third point is actually even more important. The third component is the tone of our inner dialogue. So you have the angel, you have the devil, there you have this internal dialogue, you have something going on inside your mind, but how do you actually speak to yourself? What tone do you speak to yourself in? Now, try something. If you're an athlete and you're pissed off and you're angry and you're frustrated and you're upset about something, try this, right? If you're worried about your coach, for example, and you talk to yourself like, oh man, I hope coach doesn't see, or I hope coach didn't see that, or I hope coach doesn't see me mess up, or I hope coach doesn't put me on the bench. Can you hear the tone that I'm speaking to myself in? There's a low, a soft, demoralizing tone. Now try saying it in a real high pitched voice, right? Yeah, I hope coach doesn't see me mess up. I hope coach doesn't bench me. You can't help but smile. You can't help but laugh by simply changing the tone of the way you say it. By changing the tone, you're actually changing the way you perceive what you're saying. So just a quick recap. The emotions come from pictures, right? The images that we play in our head. The tone of what those words are coming in is more important than the actual words that we're saying to ourselves. So to influence our emotions, we can actually go through all three of those and change them immediately. So if I have a negative emotion, number one, I can change the picture going on inside my mind. So instead of playing what could potentially go wrong, all of a sudden I can change the image, I can change the movie to what could potentially go right. I can change the words that are going on inside my inner dialogue to, oh, I hope coach doesn't see me mess up, to, oh, what if I actually execute? What if I actually do what I'm supposed to do? Or the third part of it, I can actually change my tone. I can change it to a more empowering tone. I can change it to a stronger tone, a more confident tone, instead of beating myself up in this demoralizing, low, slow tone. And then the fourth one, I referenced it towards the beginning, right? When we start to get upset or frustrated or stressed, I change my physiology. I change my sensations. So the fourth part of it, of changing our emotions, is then simply changing my physiology. I can't put myself in a powerful position. There's an interesting TED Talk done on this about power posing, right? It's called power posing, putting yourself in a more confident position, right? Putting my arms up, putting my head up, putting my chin up to the sky in a more confident position. They did a study, and there was a study on people who are blind, and they went through some competitions and some games and some things like that. And people who were blind, when they won, when they achieved victory, they actually put themselves into a confident position, a winning position. And they had no reference. They had no idea of what a power pose actually was. It was the direct relationship between, okay, I feel great in my body for winning, so I'm going to put myself in this powerful physical position. So, and there's a lot of other science linked to it, just putting yourself into a more resourceful physiology. So as an athlete, if you get stressed, if you get worried, if you get anxious, you can change all four of those components, because that's where your negative emotions are coming from. So you can change the pictures inside your head. You can change the words that you're saying to yourself. You can change the tone of those words, and you can change your actual physiology. So if you're an athlete, let me know if that helps. Put it in the comment section below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. We got to laugh. Probably got to laugh from my high-pitched voice, man. But hey, Cody, appreciate you on here, man. Anyways, guys, I hope you're all having an awesome day. We'll see you guys. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that episode. If you did, please smash that subscribe button down below and leave your questions in the comment section, because that's the inspiration behind these videos, to help serve you guys specifically with what you're struggling with. And if you'd like to take things a step further, check the links in the description below. If you're interested in our coaching, if you're interested in checking me out on other platforms and connecting with me there, if you're interested in some of our other free training, definitely check it out in the description below. And I will see you guys on the next video.